my God, guys, I am so freaking excited to announce this, okay? If you've been following me on Twitter, you know that I had an announcement for Friday, and then I had to push it back a few days because I wanted to add some cool, we wanted to add some cool stuff to it. Finally, today is Sunday. We're ready to reveal everything. Some I've been working on behind the scenes. More reviews coming, by the way, but this is really cool, and I am so excited. Now, I don't know how many of you know that I'm a huge board game fanatic. I'm a nut. I've showed off my collection a few times on Twitter. I have just boxes upon boxes upon boxes up in my garage, and which is why I am so giddy right now to tell you guys about this. Angry Joe Zombies board game kicking ass! That's right, I'm gonna be in a fucking board game! Which is like so freaking awesome. It's like been one of my dreams. In fact, before I started the Angry Joe show, I had this company that I wanted to create to make a bunch of board games. I literally have like over 31 different ideas, and about 5 or 6 of them are sort of fleshed out. So maybe in the far future I'll get to do that using Kickstarter. And this is why it was so fun to talk with this company who contacted me, and we've been emailing back and forth. One of their miniatures modelers, the 3D modelers, a guy that worked on BioShock. We've been talking back and forth, and he was, you know, they thought the company was started by just a bunch of friends who love board games, who have board game nights like I do a bunch of times, and they love zombie board games, and they played a bunch of them, and they realized, you know, these are great. They love the dice fest, the dice rolling and the fights, but they felt it needed a little bit more thematic stuff, theme, like, you know, light role-playing elements where you pick up and read the card aloud and stuff like that. And so they decided to make up their own zombie board game, and it turned out freaking awesome. And the guy's wife just suggested, dude, let's go sell this. And so they did a Kickstarter, and this first Kickstarter was wildly successful, and they created from it the game called Zpocalypse. I have it right here. I've had it for like a week and a half now. I've been playing it with my friends. I can tell you that it's definitely fun. I want to do a review on it in the future for you guys to show off all the pros and the cons that are associated with this game, but I love playing. In fact, I even have the expansion that just came out, which is, it adds a 5th player, the Z-Master, where you get to play the zombie freaking boss, and it adds a 5th player so that the survivors can go up against the zombies. But I'll tell you more about the game in a second. Let me tell you more about the miniature. So let me open up real quick one of these boxes here. So you'll get, we get a survivor. So I'm gonna be in the board game, right? And there is the Kickstarter. It's up there right now. You could search. It's called Zpocalypse Aftermath. Okay, it's one of their expansions, add-ons, like miniature add-ons. So I guess let me get into the game real quick. So what's cool about this game is that you don't just go out and you know, roll a bunch of dice. You do roll dice. I mean, I love dice rolling, and then you fight zombies and that's it. And this one, it's so thematic because there's 4 phases. You got there's like the morning where you go out and you salvage in the land, that you lay down tiles, and these cards that you draw sort of have like the story, like, oh, you go to the donut shop, or oh, you find a survivor out in the wilderness, and he's freaked out, and you have to roll like a smarts check, like, you know, whether your squad is able to handle this encounter. And then so you find equipment, you go out, you salvage, you find gear, weapons, survivors, you bring them back to your bunker. That's the morning. Then the next phase, you'll have to feed your survivors so that they're strong enough to go and go through the rest of the day and don't get left behind. And so you assign your food, and there's radiated food and there's normal food, and you trade with the other players and squads. It's like, I'll give you this pistol if you give me that food. It's like, yeah, only the good food, not the radiated food. You know, all this is really cool. And so you feed your survivors, and then you fortify, which is you take all these bunkers. They're which is what this expansion is. You take these little cardboard chips and you've got like walls, sandbags, like barbed wire, little towers and stuff that you can shoot zombies down. So you're like building up your little house area to defend, because later on in the night the zombies come, and then it's like your traditional game. But or actually you draw a card that says something's happening, which is like almost always bad for the survivors, and that's got a real thematic thing that you read off and you do. And then the zombies come at night and you fight them all off, and then if you survive that day and the night, then you go on to the next day, and turns can go anywhere from 2 days to 4 days. You can play as long as you like. So that's kind of basically how Zpocalypse work. And then, you know, the zombies sort of move on their own. They move towards the bunker where you have the rest of your survivors, or your squads if the zombies are closer to the squads. But if you get this Zpocalypse expansion, Z-Master, the zombie player, can control the zombies. And it's real awesome because you have these mutations that make your zombies smarter so that they can have more awareness to go out. These like level up decks that level up your zombies. In addition to a bunch of new zombie miniatures. And there's variations of each of the miniatures. Like there's this little female zombie, and she could be either a spitter or she could be like a biter. Just, you know, crazy stuff like that. And so it's really awesome game. I'll do a review for it later, but I want to show you how I'll be in the game. So I got a little miniature dude. This isn't me, okay? We're still working out my stats and the way my miniature will look, but trust me, I'm going to guarantee it's going to be badass, and I'm going to be one of the best survivors in the game. So right now, if you go over and you pledge $10, which is totally reasonable, you get a miniature of me, you get my stat card, which will tell you, you know, my health, my armor, my smarts, my movement speed, my backstory, how good I am at firearms, melee, and my special ability. And then you get a weapon card that's exclusive to my character. And I'm going to make it the ASKR-2, an upgraded version of the Angry Army standard issue military rifle. A zombie killing version. So if you guys have any suggestions on what kind of special power I should have every day or each day, and then like how my weapon will go, let me know. I do have some of it already written, but I want to see if you guys come up with something really cool. So like I said, a $10 pledge to help these guys fund their expansion will get you an Angry Joe miniature, but that's not all. I'm so excited. Like, so we were talking for a while, and I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome you guys would include me, and I've always wanted to be, you know, in a board game and start my own board game company. And so I got really, you know, like happy. I was like, you know what? We could make this big. And so I was like, you know, I have a bunch of friends, you know, and we could do like the story where I bring in my allies and we're gonna take on the zombies. So I suggested them a bunch of people I know. Total Biscuit. I suggested Nostalgia Critic, Spoonie with Dr. Insano, a lot of that guy with the glasses crew. There's some others, and I don't want to spoil it. And they thought it was a great idea, so I went out and started emailing a bunch of people, and they're like, oh my god, this sounds awesome. So that's going to be like stretch goals coming out in the future. You'll be able to assemble a whole squad of me and my allies on the site here. So let me talk a little bit about this. So this is their Aftermath expansion. So you got the base game, there's Z-Master, there was even one... There was a limited edition called Zmergency, and I think you could still pick it up through the Kickstarter and the options. It just gives you more tiles, helicopter, and doctor, and stuff like that. And then, but on this one, what this one is they're doing 4 new miniature survivors, like real thematic badass dudes. Some guy with this wrecking ball. Scientist, engineer, survivals. So you get 4 miniatures, and you get their stat cards and their unique weapon cards. But the main reason why they're doing this is because of the Fortifications pack. They listened to their fans, and they thought it would be so awesome to create miniatures for each of the fortifications that you put out during the fortifications phase. And trust me, that's one of the most fun phases, because you're like setting up like barbed wire, because the zombies move like you know, on their own, and you set it up to where like they fall in the traps and they get killed, and it's, you know, you're just in the bunker just setting it up. So you'll get 41 fortification miniatures for that base game that replaces all the cardboard pieces in that. So that's why they did this. For these 4 alpha team pack and the fortifications pack. And then they say they'll allow the community, you guys, to create a mini on your own. Whether, you know, they show you off a bunch of designs and you select one or something. Then they show you the core game, you know, all the stuff that they've done in the past. I'll put a link in the description to their original, so you can see, you know, how well they did just on their own, without me or without anybody, because the game is really cool and it has a lot of cool elements to it. And then here's like the pledge breakdown. You can add stuff to your pledge just like you can with a lot of Kickstarters. But if you want to get all of the celebrity miniatures, like all my like friends, like that guy with the glasses people, me, and there's a few other people that I don't want to spoil. If you pledge, I think it's at their fortress level where it says guest minis, you'll get them all. So I mean, that's just for you right there. Oh, but since this is a brand new game, a relatively new game, you gotta know, well, we're on an expansion. What about the core game? Well, you can actually pick up the core game. I think it's on their website, or they'll have a link on their Kickstarter. It's $60, and it's a pretty damn good deal. And I think this one is $40, I think. So this one is the one that you need in order to play with me. Or if you want, you can just take the $10 miniature and put it in any zombie game you want to play, or, you know, friggin' 40K or something like that. That would be awesome. But trust me, it's a good game, and you probably want to check me out within the actual game. I can't wait to, anyway. So, hopefully you guys will go out and support a cool company that wants to support the Angry Army, and the Angry Army will support them back by giving them a bump to their Kickstarter for the Angry Joe miniature and putting us in the Zpocalypse. It should be pretty awesome. I should be one of the best survivors in the game. I'm so excited to play with myself in the game. Play with myself in the game. And then, like I say, you could use the miniature for whatever other games you want if you want to do that instead. But give me your suggestions on Daily Power. Right now I'm thinking release your anger, which gives me a bonus to my attack. If you want, the rules are available online. You can go to their website. I'll put another description in there so you can read through the rules and see if it's a game that you'll like. Trust me, it's one of the better zombie games out on the market. I actually went on a spree and I bought a bunch of other zombie games, just to kind of know where this game that I'm gonna be in stands. I love board games. I buy like a bunch a month anyway. It's an addiction. But I don't really have a good solid group yet to keep playing with, but I'll find them. So, as you can tell, I'm really excited about this project. Hopefully you guys go out to the Zpocalypse Aftermath Kickstarter page, contribute $10, put a note right there that says if it's under the stretch goal, because like there's like stretch goal for all the guest miniatures. If they're still under that stretch goal for me, all you have to do is put $10 Angry Joe miniature, right? And then, you know, and then order the base game or something. But you only have to contribute $10. But trust me, some of the rest of this stuff is pretty cool. So consider some of the rest of that stuff, just because they were so awesome to, you know, contact me and put me in their game. So, alright, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show, and on the field of battle against the zombie hordes. I've got a really cool backstory, by the way. I've got a really cool backstory too, by the way. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show.